We'll look at some other look at the crypto space here. 1 second. Okay, John. Well, yeah, I think that's a good way. But honestly, I think you should think about joining the crypto team. I mean, I can go over the details on the program, but I mean, my thinking was part of the reason why I started the crypto trading group, the team, is because exactly what you just said right there, Johnny, is that a lot of people are new to this space. So anytime you're going to invest in any market that you're new to, doesn't make any sense, right? You start to see these RIA and advertisements that are popping up. I mean, that's just people are going to get burned so bad of doing that. But no, I think that's exactly what you want to do is you want to have a small amount of capital. You want to start to play around in these markets. Well, that's fine. But let's say it's 500,000, 2,000 bucks. There's only so many positions that you can really play before you spread yourself out too thin where, I mean, are you really going to have 20 positions with $100 in each one? Even if you get one that goes crazy and it has 1,000% return, it's not that meaningful. So the idea, the vision was behind the crypto team is that you can still participate with those smaller dollar amounts, but we leverage it over the more people, more team. We can take a lot more positions, bigger positions. It's easier to work in and out of those positions because the smaller capital, I mean, you only have so many bullets, right? So the way I set up the crypto team is it's $1,000 to get started, which is 500 of that is a membership fee. I kind of think of it as like, board a trade seat. Obviously, a board a trade seat goes for like $1 million, or it used to anyway. So this is $500, and then that gets you on the team, and that helps cover costs of the administration stuff. But just for the real time alerts and everything on the crypto side, I mean, it's well worth it putting the signals in there and everybody talking about the different plays and all the different altcoins. So just like we do in the real time alerts, we're doing that on the crypto team there in that private room. And then the other $500 is just your seed money into the fund. So that's $500 is your initial seed investment. And then we're tracking that portfolio. We're using a real-time tracking website over here. All right. As all our positions in here, reporting. And this is a good way too, where you guys don't have to learn about opening up all the different exchanges and having to trade it. Like I'm just doing that for you. And then we're trading around the model. But as far as just getting started, John, there's lots of, I mean, I should probably do like a video series, but trading on Coinbase. In our last meeting, I showed you how you can set up a banking or a debit card and you can buy Bitcoin and then you can send it to wherever you want. You can send Bitcoin over to like over here is Bittrex, so over to your Bittrex wallet, etc. I don't want to show too much of that live, but anyway. That's probably the best way to learn, John. You'll learn so much being inside on that team, on that chat room. I mean, there's some guys on there that are, out in Silicon Valley. They've been trading crypto for like 4 years. I mean, they're mining. A couple of the guys on the team have been doing mining. They're way sharper than any of anyway, I've already learned a lot. So that's a cool way to do it. I would encourage you to look into that. But if we want to look directionally here, Vinny, at some of these markets, here, like on, well, let's just go through Bitcoin here. So I like to call, here, I'm actually going to record this. I'm going to do 2 recordings on this. Give me a second here, guys. All right, so I like to call the majors, just like you think of like the Dow or the DAX, the Nikkei is the major equity markets. So the major markets here, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dash, but the major is basically Bitcoin, Ethereum. So our call has been pretty simple. What we were looking for, a higher low here. And let me switch the chart. Let's see. Okay, you guys see this now? All right, this is pretty classic in the model. So we have higher lows. This is a daily chart. Higher lows here, higher lows here. This is all the TMS in our model. And we said that if you broke 2250, this area right here, there's a chance that we're going to get a pullback back to the 200 and or a full pi cycle down here. That was possible. But I said that this was going to be a big area, and it wasn't level specific, meaning that a lot of traders are going to be, they trade technically, but they don't have a clue about how to trade with the trend. So they don't understand what really defines the trend. And I guarantee you that there was traders, not a lot of people short these markets, but believe it or not, there are some doing it. And getting bearish here underneath these lows, or just selling out of their longs because this was breaking, was a mistake, because you want to look at this as an area. That's why I highlighted this rectangle. You know, when we were up in here, I had this on the chart. So when you get these big moves, these deeper pullbacks, we actually want to be buyers. So we were buying in here. And I was highlighting that we were low within the cycle back here. Right now we've had a nice swing move back up. And from here, we've just been really basing. So there was some fear over the, soft fork, hard fork stuff. And now that it seems like the developers or miners, kind of agreed on this SegWit and what they want to do, but the market rallied here. So we got a big, huge real money candle here, right, in the model. And then we've stayed within the top third of this real money candle. So guys, a real money candle is just a term I used for showing you it's the largest candle on the chart, and it just shows you where the bulls are in control of a huge amount of buying, and typically that's only from real money accounts or big like in the other markets, it's big institutional money that creates these candles. It's not the average person. But this market's so young, you don't have a lot of institutional players yet. I mean, there's some hedge funds, there's some people that made a lot of money, early entrepreneurs in Bitcoin, or some of these guys there's big money coming in on the backside of these ICOs now. So there are some big players for sure. But this is a real money candle. So more than likely that candle is going to stay in place, and it just shows you that the next move is probably higher. But when you get a real money candle like that, you can look for the retracement. Like we like to look at halfway. So after this move up, there was one candle of weakness. You basically stopped and retraced about halfway. And then we have a bull flag here, a pennant formation. The point is that this is a typical consolidation. So I'm kind of watching this area to see if we're going to start to make a run at new highs. So far, this is a pretty constructive bullish resting period. And then it's the same thing, guys, over here on Ethereum. It's the same kind of price action. Ethereum had a little bit more of a drop. I think there's more alpha here being long Ethereum, actually, meaning that if the market route Bitcoin takes off, I think you're going to see Ethereum really catch up. Let's see. So basically held in front of the 200. But then we got back above the 8, and there's this kind of the same consolidation going on. So I've been kind of watching 240. If we get above there, I think we're going to run. The next big pivot is here at 320, and then right in front of 400 and the all-time high. You can see it a little bit easier on the 4-hour hourly chart. But like John, then there's a lot of other names we like Monero, Dash, Ant shares. We've been building a nice position in. I can go over that one next. So here, this is the 4-hour chart. It's a little bit easier to see the consolidation. You guys see that? I mean, I'm drawing it pretty sloppy, but it's the same. It's just that's what's going on here. As soon as we start to take out these highs, a lot of times you can do this as a measured move too. So the way that works is you look at the move from here to here, and then if you break out of the wedge, it's about the same distance here to here on the next move up. It's called a measured move. So I'm actually kind of waiting to see if we want to double our position. I'm looking for a candle, something like this, to start to show us that we're kind of breaking out of this downtrend here. And then you can, double your position, stop under the low. Nice tight way to manage your risk. And then I'll just briefly touch on some others that we've been having some success with, and some good calls that we've had. Ant shares. Okay, Vinny, I'm reading what you're saying here. Ancient, you want to take a look and explain us, figure out the next step. UBQ. I'm not familiar with that one, but yeah, we can look at that one. Let's do Ant shares first, and then I'll come back to that one. Is that on Bittrex? I don't know that. Okay, cool. I mean, I've heard of it. I just like I couldn't even tell you what the chart looks like offhand. But yeah, we'll do that one. Ant shares. Well, that's versus Ethereum. This one has a really good price action. I mean, it's acting really well. It comes to life, has a big run, and then you get pullbacks, but you keep making higher lows. Everything here is still bullish. Let's go to the daily chart. It's hard to get everything on here. So this formation is pretty typical in these crypto markets. Reason being, they trade very similar to kind of how penny stocks trade. You have these smaller cap names that have much smaller share float, and liquidity is different. So it doesn't take a lot to really send them vertically. But it's a similar phase transition that happens. You get these big run-ups, and then you tend to get an 80% retracement. You get a big move up, and then you get this. It quiets, it drops off, and then you get another spurt. And so that's kind of what's been going on here. Ant shares had a big run here. At this point, you were very extended. Look at the distance you are from the 8, this red line. That shows you how overbought you were. You wanted to be taking profits up there for sure. The cycle was high. You're overbought even on an RSI reading. So not surprising that you retraced. And then we like to use our wall concepts about halfway. It was a good place to start buying back in. And we did. This is a swing line setup in our model right here. We added on this candle and then taking profits. And then we've had another nice swing line here. Boom, buy that candle. Kind of went sideways. You got another swing line set up right here. So these are all points to add. This is just learning how to work your position. But you buy in here, get heavier here, buy more here. And then, you know, we're looking for a longer term move back to here, and then back to these highs, and then maybe even new highs. That's how we're playing that one. There's so many of them. I mean, we like BAT longer term. We just started a new position. I did a video on Golem. Let's find this one for Vinny here. Right here. Okay, this is them, right? Yeah. I can type up here. Up where, Vinny? What do you mean, buddy? On the chart, you mean? Here? Oh, I don't have to click? Is that what you're saying? I can just type it in? Oh, filter up here. Oh, I see what you're. Oh, okay. I've never even noticed that. All right, thanks. I'll start using that. I've seriously never even used that. Scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Yeah, for sure. It's just amazing all the different exchanges too. All right, so right away on the chart here, this is pretty bullish actually lately. But let's start from a higher time frame. some of these monthly charts, I mean, all these securities are so new that the monthly chart really isn't that helpful. I mean, there's not even a cycle because there's not enough data. So here's the weekly, point out a couple things. Really tight base, right out of the gates, and then it starts to trend higher. This was a pretty decent pullback. You take out the swing highs right there, and then you had a nice move. You got, you got a little bit extended up here. You're pretty far away from the 8 and what we call the bands, and then you had a nice retracement. So again, you look at these walls, just one. It's basically, if you put these 4 candles together, it creates just one large candle. But then you want, a lot of these markets are going to have greater than 50% pullbacks because the volatility is so much higher in this space. So you're going to get a lot of 80% retraces. I mean, if you throw a Fibonacci retrace on there from the low here to here, you probably have an 80% retrace right there. That's the Elliott wave stuff. I don't have all my fib circles. So pretty much 7.86 is right there. So that's pretty typical in these markets, right? So you're overbought up here. You got to be thinking pullback, and you basically held the bands in our model right here on the weekly level. So I like that there's a swing line, we call this, on the weekly. And if you can close the week above here, this level, that opens the door for a lot of upside, even a run back to here and or new highs. Because if you make a higher low here relative to this low after a new high, the pattern of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows in an uptrend says that you should make a new high. So that's definitely possible. This weekly cycle is still coming down, so you may need to see this weekly turn up before you get that move. On the daily level, the daily's trying to turn. Here, let me get rid of this. Daily level's trying to turn. A couple things there. This was a higher low at or near the 8. So a lot of times in an uptrend, you're going to get higher lows at the 8 or near what I call the bands. Or if you put a 30-period moving average on here, that does a good job for picking off higher lows, like right there. But not holding the bands here, you kind of had to think that maybe you're going to get more of a pullback. But there's an intermediate term downtrend in here also. You have a lower high here relative to here. And then when you took out these lows, you actually had an intermediate term downtrend because you're making lower highs and lower lows. But you started to change that. If you start to take out this high right here, you start to turn that back up bullish. It's kind of hard to see on the daily. I'll show you on like the 4-hour here. So I like to use these bands because it gives a good visual. So if you guys notice here, these lines are all fanned out, rising, right? It shows a nice wave. And once you broke the waves here, you notice how they all start to roll over the other way, right? So you sense here, And really the break of these lows, you've been under what we call intermediate term downtrend or intermediate term pressure. That's just a different time frame. You have a longer term uptrend, but you're having an intermediate term pullback within the larger uptrend. So you have lower highs here. This is just me. This is how we view the trends. This is me teaching this for a long time. But my traders know that this, you start to notice this. So this is the intermediate term down move. And you're trying to change the direction now. You'll notice that this high is the same high as this right here. But you did make a new high above here, which was bullish. You just haven't closed the candle up there yet. But you're starting to make higher lows again, which is the first sign that the market's going to turn direction. So this is looking like it wants to go again. You just need a little bit. You got to get above these highs and then it can release. So that this kind of looks like a crazy chart, but that's just the reality of how markets trade. You have smaller trends that pull back within the context of larger trends. This is the longer term trend. So you were overbought up here, and then you want to be starting to nibble down here and look to add to your position if we can take out these highs. But anyways, guys, let's just flip. This has been kind of a long session. Let's just flip back to the euro here and just wrap up with what we did today on that. Pretty good trading. Pretty good trading today on the euro. I mean, over time, guys, as these markets develop on the digital side, I'd like to start day trading those as well. We're just not, I'm not really convinced that market's there for that just yet. I mean, you can definitely day trade it now, but I mean, consistently, I mean, it's tough to day trade in any aggressive form when you have an exchange that can just go down and you can't get a fill for 20 minutes. So, but we'll probably be doing more trading around those positions on like the 30-minute. I'll start updating more stuff on that. All right, but just to recap here, euro versus the dollar, we came in, I mean, we've been playing a core short from last week. So not only was I short there, but we came in on the 30-minute this morning. I sold the top of this 30-minute cycle. We signaled that in the room. When you look on the 15-minute cycle, this is the same thing that I was just explaining, how the band started to roll over just like it was doing on that crypto pair. You can see how the same thing here on the euro this morning. So we were shorting here, cover, reshort here, covering into the lows. There's support down here. So some of you are probably still a little bit short, which is good. In case we make a new low, you could definitely fall at least back here to pi. We did the same thing here on euro yen. Euro yen, it didn't really back off. I sold into this high. It didn't really come off as much. But then we did the same thing on euro pound. And that was another nice little trade with the 15-minute cycle. 15-minute cycle is high. You failed right at the 30, this blue line. You fail right at the bands here, as we call that. Boom, covered into new lows. So nice little trades here on the euro. If I can share that or not. Did you guys all make money on the euro this morning? Are some of you guys still here? Did you take off already? Mike, you made money on Euro USD, Euro Pound. Andrew, I know you did good, as always. John, you did. Sam, you'd made money on Euro, right? All right, good stuff, guys. Camille, yeah, definitely staying core short the Euro. So 2 time frames we were playing this today, right? We're playing the longer term, right? Playing the longer term, and then playing the near term. So your best trades are always going to be when your core position is going in the same direction of your day trade. And then sometimes when you have a core position on and the day trade trend is going the other direction, that's kind of typical of hedging. You're kind of hedging yourself. I mean, I'll take a day trade long on the euro, make a couple $1,000. Meanwhile, my core position maybe is down $3,000 to $5,000 out of the money or something. But as the out of the money position longer term starts to roll over, and you get a day where you're adding into the direction of the day trade trend, then you really start to compound, and you get heavier, right? As both those positions are moving in the same direction. But yep, Camille, staying course short euro. I mean, you see this gray box here. That's why it's different color. So this entire zone here, I'm going to be staying short and just working the position. This is my sell zone longer term. So we're going to keep working that. Just like we're doing up here on euro pounds. All right. So anyway, you guys good? Pretty long session, but good start to the week. We're getting some pretty good Forex moves. I think we're getting to the point where we're going to see dollar maybe go the other way, but it's going to take some time to turn that trend around. So it's going to be weeks, not days, you know. But, all right, guys. Well, good stuff. Some of you we're doing a call here. I think at 1 o'clock. You guys know who you are on that, and then we'll have an announcement, guys, about the prop program here. We'll do one as a team, and then I'll be doing webinars on a kind of an ongoing basis, promoting that one to the public, like we usually do, for the full access. But anyway, good stuff, guys. You guys good? I'll sign off with you. Catch you in the morning. All right, cool. Well, it's good consistency as usual. Vinny, if you have any questions, you can message me, or I'm sure you've been in touch with Ritas also. So, but it was good seeing you in here. Look forward to having you on the team, whether that's the crypto or the full access. But again, you're welcome to reach out to me. All right, Chris. All right, guys, we'll see you. Enjoy the rest of your trading day. Talk to you in the morning.